What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Pop Culture Corner. I'm here today with a live in studio interview with my friend comedian Karl. Is it Z?
Yeah,
You
pretty
pronounce it
much.
Z?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, man, I'm super stoked to have you here. And it's our first
Hey.
in studio interview, and oh, God knows. I mean, even my co-host hasn't been here in some time.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's been different, with the remote. Speaking of which,
definitely.
I mean, you're a comedian,
hmm
right? And how's it been to be a live performer
A live performer,
during the pandemic?
during the pandemic, it has been the worst.
I can,
Absolutely, hands down, the worst. You just got no gig.
yeah. I mean, so when I met you, you
hmm
were you were performing in Boston, and
Yeah.
like for anyone who doesn't know, Boston has this like it's like downtown, and there's a like this staircase set up, and it's
Yep.
kind of like seating, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool for you. I mean, you kind
Yeah.
of just did what you had to do, and I feel
Yeah.
like that's what a good comedian will do.
It's like an outdoor theater
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. And it allows you to do those kind of performances
hmm
where you couldn't before.
Yeah.
Or I've seen people on doing comedy shows like this, like online.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and how could that even work? There's no audience, there's no.
I mean, Zoom comedy shows, you get the audience. Sometimes they have audience in there and they unmute themselves so you can
Okay.
hear the laughter.
Yeah,
So
see,
that,
that's too tough.
well, the toughest thing so far has been performing in the street by yourself.
You think so?
Yeah,
Why is that?
because comedy requires attention. It requires your full attention. You need to hear the beginning, the middle, and the end of the joke. You need to hear
Mm,
the setup and the punch.
okay.
If you just hear the punch, it's not funny. If you
Right.
just hear the setup, it's not funny. You have to hear the whole thing and you got to see my delivery.
Right.
So it requires a lot of attention. And when you're on the street, nobody pays it pays any attention. So
What?
even in Zoom, you can get some people to pay attention.
Right, right. And so I mean, when I walked by you,
Yep.
I thought you were gonna heckle me. That's what I thought was gonna happen, because I like I had this idea where I stopped and I
Yep.
was like, I've been looking to branch out a little bit more and have more
Yeah.
people, because pop culture, we're the
hmm
pop culture corner, right? That
Yeah.
doesn't just mean superheroes and
hmm
in movies and TV. That means anything that comes with pop culture.
Yeah.
In in my mind, comedy does.
hmm
So I was like, I kind of want to ask this guy if he would like to join me one day.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then I went to walk by you because I
Yep.
was like, I'm not gonna interrupt him. And then you like said something to me, and I was like,
Yep.
hey,
Yeah.
would you like to? And it was just like it was a nice, it was a funny experience. But
Oh yeah.
look, I give you credit, man. I give you credit for doing what you need to do to get your name put out there and spread out. And it's harder than it seems, especially for live
Oh
performers.
yeah.
Um, it's not as easy as it was. Just go to the comedy club
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
comedy whatever. What's the Boston place?
Boston has a lot of plays. Nick's Comedy Stop, Laugh Boston, Comedy Studio. There's a bunch of plays in Boston.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, I mean, these really good comedians who got started in Boston,
Yeah, a lot of it.
Rogan, Bill Burr,
Yeah,
um, and the list goes on. I don't have them all in my head
yeah.
right now.
Patrice O'Neill.
Yeah, okay, Chase O'Neill. There's like two other ones that I could that I have watched before. I don't know why it's not registering, but if you had to pick your favorite comedian
hmm
that maybe inspired you to do this, who would it
My
be?
favorite would be Richard Pryor.
I was gonna say Richard Pryor,
Yeah,
which is the goat. He's
yeah.
the goat, man.
The GOAT. I
He's the
mean,
goat.
yeah.
And why is that? What did he do for you?
He's just a genius.
He,
He's got everything, and funny, and he's got everything. Like you couldn't do better than that. That's like,
and for anyone who doesn't know, Richard Pryor was he was a black male,
yep,
and his act was maybe different than say like Bill Cosby.
very
Um,
different.
yeah, very different from Bill Cosby. He made a name for himself because of it, and a lot of people consider him to be, where comedy really came into its own and became something unique, and people wanted to go out and get a
hmm
ticket and sit in the audience and experience that face to face.
Yep.
So for you,
Mhm.
what's been the most uh difficult aspect of, maybe, I don't know if you ever wanted to do something before. Like, did you ever want to do something different?
I was trying to discover what I want to do in college. So I tried a lot of things, tried sales, tried marketing, tried business, all kinds of stuff. And comedy was like, when I figured out there was open mic night, I
Hmm.
was like, I can just do it. Because I was thinking about doing, funny videos, but that was like a lot of editing stuff
Yeah.
and video making stuff. And when I saw that, I was like, I can just do that. I mean, it doesn't require anything.
Right, right, right.
So I just signed up, and
And you said, so how was that first time?
the first time was okay. The first time was good.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Most people find that to be like super nerve wracking.
Yeah, well, my fourth time was the worst. So that was the first time I bombed.
Your fourth?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the first couple times I was pretty good. I was like all new stuff, and they laughed. I was like, well, I can do this.
You can, and
Yeah, yeah.
kind of
And
gave you like
then the
a
bombing started coming. I was like, okay, okay.
and for so I like I said, I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan.
Mhm.
The Joe Rogan Experience is
Mhm.
probably one of my. It's the podcast that inspired me,
Yeah.
um, and what he'll say is, you're not a comedian until you bomb. You're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
you're not a comedian until you experience what it's like to be
Oh yeah.
basically not laughed off stage, but just echoes and silence and
Oh yeah.
crickets and all that stuff. And for me, I don't know if I could. People told me when I was growing up to try it out.
Mhm.
Um, I was shorter than everyone else.
Mhm.
Like your joke, the fucking tall Asian,
Yeah, yeah.
that man. But you said midgets before it, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
uh, it just struck home with me because I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah. So that's, yeah, some of your jokes. You're willing to test the line, which what I like.
Yeah.
You test the line of the political uh, spectrum. You test the PC spectrum
Yeah.
of, like, and comedy's kind of taking a hit because of it.
Oh
Taking a
yeah.
hit because of the PC world that we live in. What do
Yeah.
you think of that?
Well, to me, it's not like I'm trying to test the line. It's not like I'm doing it deliberately.
Right.
I'm not doing it for that. I'm just trying to be honest
Okay.
about my feeling
Right.
and be honest about, I'm just trying to be funny.
Okay.
I'm not like just trying to say something to piss people off. No, I'm trying to figure out if there's anything funny in there, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. No, no, I hear you. You had a joke that made
Mhm.
me laugh, the about the Hillary Clinton thing,
Mhm.
where I can't remember how you set it up, but the joke was, basically that she doesn't just as much
Yeah.
as she used her husband or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And man, that had me roaring laughing. I thought that was great. Really, really, really
that
great.
that credit is to my friend John. So Ed John. He wrote that joke.
Oh, you
Yeah,
wrote.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
We were doing a workshop, writing stuff together. Like he came up with that line, and I was like, well, I'll use it. Yeah.
do you have someone who helps you? Like, is
Uh,
that who this
mo
John character is?
no, I mean, I try to do my own stuff 100% of the time. So, but when like good friends, like very good friends, we talk about comedy a lot.
Hmm.
That's when they offer me something, I'm like, okay, I can use that.
Right.
It's like we're friend instead of I'm writing for you or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because
Hmm.
I mean, we have people that help us and
Yeah.
or will give us ideas
Hmm.
or yada yada, and I
Yeah.
and I find that to be really helpful. It's nice to have those kind of people in your corner,
Yeah.
especially where the market may be a little bit saturated.
Hmm.
I mean, I mean, under your name today, we have your TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Now, TikTok has done something interesting
Yeah.
where they've kind of given I mean, this is already the case, I guess, with like
Hmm.
YouTube and
Hmm.
other things like it, and what there was Vine before TikTok,
Yeah.
where they give pretty much anyone a platform who wants one.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of funny people, but do you find that the market is getting a little bit saturated with people who think they could do it and maybe they can't? Because I find TikTok to be either one of two things.
Hmm.
It's either really funny
Hmm.
or it's girls dancing half naked. And that's an honest.
That's what you like. That's what they show you.
That's what I. But that's what I
For
like.
for me, it's all girls shaking ass. I don't even check out the comedy on there.
Uh, that's
Yeah.
my ex girlfriend,
Yep.
she lived here with me at the time.
Uh-huh.
She's the one who introduced me to TikTok.
Yep.
So I was like, why would you even show me this? I was like, it's basically just girls just dancing
Yep.
to the WAP song,
Yep.
and doing some, and then I've seen some pretty young girls on there, and it really
Very
turned
young.
me. And I deleted the app for a long time,
Yeah.
but then someone was like, "Oh, you should do something for the show."
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. I haven't, but
Hmm.
I caught myself 2 nights in a row in holes watching video after video. Maybe not that
Yeah.
those kind of videos, but
Hmm.
just whatever was on the
Yeah.
timeline
Whatever.
feed.
Yeah.
But you've tried the TikTok thing.
Yeah. Well, TikTok for me, I try not to use TikTok. I don't watch TikTok because I
Okay,
feel like it's not good for my mental health. It's not
you
good.
don't think so?
No,
See,
I
I don't
mean,
think so either, and I'd
yeah,
be interested to
it's
know
not good.
why. It's
It's not
not.
good to just eat whatever you like, or it's not good to just do what you like.
I
Y-
think
Yeah.
I think for you, for comedians, for
Hmm.
anyone who's trying to make it in the stand up game,
Hmm.
TikTok's not that. TikTok
It's
will
not.
take away from your ability to deliver a setup, deliver, and punch, right? Like,
Hmm.
because with TikTok you can stop it, you can edit it, you can, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool. Like, it's a good tool. Like, if you're a veteran comedian, like say someone like Jack Black, who is known for his comedian. I don't think he's ever done stand up. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Has
Yeah.
Jack Black ever done stand up?
I have never saw him
I don't
doing
think he
that.
has.
Yeah.
I don't think he has. But
Okay.
he's a funny guy, right?
Hmm.
Like his movies are typically, you know, um, funnier. And
Yep.
for him on TikTok, he's doing well for himself,
Yep.
like a really well. Like amount of money that dude makes off TikTok videos, but the production value is
Wow.
crazy, right?
Oh yeah.
So for him, that's different. But maybe for you, for someone who's still coming up, you don't want to like change your mindset because like for TikTok, it's very much producing a video.
I don't think it changes your mindset. It's just a different thing. But the funny still applies. The same principle that makes things funny still applies to a video, still applies to a podcast, still applies to a joke. That's the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just like for because I've seen comedians
Mhm.
do TikToks, and some of them, like if you watch their stand up,
Mhm.
it's just spot on, glorious. And then the TikTok is just like I don't really laugh. I'm like, okay,
I
yeah,
think it's just that they haven't figured out how this thing works,
it's
how to
different. Yeah,
deliver
you're right.
through this channel. Yeah,
Definitely different.
it's different. Yeah.
Um, so tell us. You grew up in China,
Yeah, China.
and what made you come here?
My mom.
Your mom.
Yeah. She she sees that Chinese college is not good for me, and because she was a professor in college, she was in medical school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over in China or
Yeah,
here?
In
Okay.
China. And she's like, "Yeah, I think America has more freedom for you." So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And does no, I don't. Maybe I should be a little bit more well versed in this, but I'm
Mhm.
not. Is there a comedy scene in China? Like,
Oh yeah,
what's it
it's
like
popping
over?
now. It's
Yeah.
popping now. Yeah, it's very popular now. There are comedians doing 7 shows a day, and I want to
Jeez.
choke them. I want to. I see them see their social media. I want to choke them. It's like
Yeah. That's
you. I
that's
have nothing.
yeah. I wouldn't say nothing. But
Yeah.
now, I mean, so you came here for college then?
Yeah.
For college, and where'd you go in Ohio?
University of Dayton.
University of Dayton is it?
Yeah.
And then that's where you found your love
Yeah.
for comedy. And
Yeah.
you know, uh, when you did your first show, you said it was good and
Hmm.
all that. But like uh, where it was that club, that the same one that's in that
Yeah.
video,
Wiley's. Wiley's is the
Wiley's
yeah. It's the oldest comedy club in Ohio.
in Ohio.
Yeah.
Jeez. And the crowd reacted to you pretty well in
Yeah.
that video, the one that you sent me at least.
Yeah.
So did you get comfortable there? And
Yeah. I
um,
got pretty comfortable there.
how does it work? Can you become like a regular at a comedy club?
Yeah, I mean, so that is kind of like my home club. That is my home club, Wiley's.
Okay.
So it's good to have a home club as a comic because you go there all the time. Everybody knows you, and when something, a spot came up, you could have it.
Right. Now, could you get paid doing that as a regular?
Uh, when you're doing the shows like Friday, Saturday shows, if you're doing a spot, like a guest spot doesn't get paid, but if
Okay.
you're hosting or featuring, you
Yeah.
get paid.
Okay, so explain that to me because that's something I've always wondered. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I hear Joe talk about he became a regular at the Comedy Store
Mm-hmm.
in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's in LA.
Yeah.
And that's salary. Like you
Yeah.
get paid, or
Yeah.
I don't know about the salary, but you get paid a certain amount of money for doing regular spots at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between a host
Mm-hmm.
and a feature
Mm-hmm.
or a guest spot? What's the difference between those?
So normally a show goes by a host, a guest spot, or the opening act, and then the feature act, and then the headliner, the closer.
Okay.
So the host's job is to, do some announcement, like, hey, don't talk during the show, don't heckle, turn off your cell phone, stuff like that, and
Okay.
then tell a couple of jokes, do some crowd work, get the crowd ready for the. Basically, the host is there to let the audience know we're doing comedy now,
Okay.
because they don't get into comedy mindset
Right.
like right away. They're
Right.
still ordering food and drink. That's when
Oh.
hosts go up and tell everybody.
Okay.
They're still ordering drinks.
Yeah.
And you, as a host, you just talk to someone like, hey, anybody's birthday, anything? And you keep it light, you keep it playful, you set the tone right, and then you bring up the first act, the opening act, or the guest spot. And then after that is the feature act. The feature act is the opening act is pretty much 10 minutes, around 10 minutes. The guest spot is like 5 to 10, anything between that. And the feature act does 20 to 25.
Okay.
So it's like before the headliner. And then it's the headliner does 45 minutes of his stuff.
Now,
Hmm.
have you ever had not? I mean, would you ever like have you headlined, or is that something you're working your way towards? Because that's
Th-
a long
that's a
act.
long.
That's a
Yeah.
theoretically that's like an HBO length act,
Yeah, pretty
right? So
much.
that's a long time to be up
Yeah.
there, and you have to have a lot of material.
Yeah.
Um, now, could you see yourself having that 45-minute material?
Right now, not yet. The longest set I've done, it was like an hour, but it was a radio show. Like I
Oh,
can't I can't see the audience. I
right,
can't hear them. They can't see me. They can only hear me.
right.
And all I can see was commenting come up, like video, like YouTube comments, like ha ha ha, LOL, like stuff like that. But that
Mhm.
kept me going. That was actually pretty good. I
So you
mean,
liked it?
yeah.
Okay.
But then I figure out, when those LOLs doesn't come up, that joke needs to be taken out. That's when I figured that out.
Yeah. So is that how do you work your act? Like, is it the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that we're talking about? Go to Boston in
Yep.
the center
Mm-hmm.
and see how, because I mean, you have to test jokes out and you
Yep.
have to kind of work how you, because some comedians are the ones that do maybe
Mm-hmm.
tours.
Yep.
They'll go to open mics
Yes.
and they'll test out jokes that they've written,
Yep.
or and work the
Yeah.
jokes, see what where people react, where they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Does it need to be taken out in general?
Yeah.
Where it could work, where it might not work.
Yes.
So, what's been your experience with that? And the movie dogs asks,
Mm-hmm.
it's one of our viewers asked that what one comic inspired you to become a comedian. We actually did talk about that, and
Yeah. It was.
Richard Pryor,
Yeah.
which is he's like I said, I think he's the goat of
Yeah.
of comedy. So, and then Dave Chappelle's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Dave Chappelle's becoming known as like the new age,
Yes. Yeah.
and I'll be honest with you,
Yep.
hot take. I
Well.
don't always find him to be hilarious.
Yeah.
I
He
think,
he's more interesting now.
yeah, because did you see his two recent?
Yeah.
Like those were there. One of them was like really funny. And the
Yeah.
other one I felt was pushing the political line. Like he
Yeah.
just wanted to like poke at things, like
Yeah. Yeah.
and for me that wasn't funny, but it was like, oh damn, oh damn, because
Yeah.
one of his jokes he was like, what do you say? He was like, oh, there's a reason why women aren't in men's sports. And he's like, you guys want to pretend to be equal. And then like he went on and on. And I was just like, damn, dude, I can't believe he's saying this stuff. But that's what comedy is. That's what
Well,
comedy is.
Dave is protecting comedy.
You
Dave,
think?
yeah, Dave is very. Dave is protecting freedom of speech with his transgender jokes. You
Right.
know,
Right.
when
Right.
PC culture was killing comedy, Dave came out of nowhere with his transgender jokes and saved.
Literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Nowhere.
I
That guy,
mean,
he was gone for how many
Ohio,
years?
Yellow Spring, Ohio. That's the nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like so so he had taken so long because he had
Hmm.
a bad experience with Comedy Central
Yeah,
and the Chappelle show, and he
yeah,
just said, you know, I'm done. I'm done with I'm done with this. I'm done with
yeah,
this. You know, whatever. And then he took, I don't know how long it was. It was a long
yeah,
time off. And then those two Netflix specials came out,
yeah.
and right, it was, yeah, like you said, like almost right when we needed it, where
Yes.
he was like, nah,
And he's the only one who can talk about Bill Cosby, Louis C.K., and nobody is offended or anything. Like, you feel him, you feel how he feels. He
right,
can. That's the craft. That's the
right,
craft. Like, he talked about Louis C.K.'s thing, right?
yeah,
And basically, he was blaming those women.
right,
He wasn't blaming Louis. He was
right,
like, he was talking about it like, oh, those women said Louis C.K. did that, like shattered my comedy dream. And he said, then, Miss, may I say you don't have a dream?
right,
Like, think about Martin Luther King.
yeah,
He wouldn't lead the.
right.
Like,
If
you think he would give up if someone showed his penis to him? Like, I can't lead this move no more. I can't do it. They showed his penis. It was very inappropriate. I can't do this no more.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was the perfect analogy, like, to explain how that works.
that's, you know, you're right. You're absolutely
So
right.
he's the master, the genius, whatever. He's the best,
Yeah,
like, doing it.
yeah. And what do you think about Kevin Hart? A lot of
I
people, he's make or break for a lot of people.
I like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is
I
hilarious.
think so too. I
Kevin,
think so.
the serious when I saw Seriously Funny, that special,
Yeah.
I thought, like, how can you be too funny?
Yeah.
This man is
That,
too funny.
it was one of those shows where
Yeah,
from start to finish, your belly almost hurts from
yeah.
laughing so hard.
It's like,
He's so relatable.
how can you be too funny? Like, that is too funny.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure,
And
man.
then Laugh at My Pain was good,
Yeah.
great. And then,
I think all of his specials have really like their own quality to it.
yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of the series that he did. It was like
Hmm.
5 episodes, and it like
Hmm.
chronicled his life. I didn't think that was as funny, but I don't think it was meant to be funny.
Okay.
So that's a different thing, right?
Yeah.
Um,
His newer specials suck, but
yeah, because he's
what
gotten
you
so
gonna do?
popular,
Yeah,
and
what you gonna do?
you
Yeah.
know, people will laugh at anything he says.
Yeah.
That's got to take something away from you, right?
Yeah.
If you were to say like, haha, like, you know, you go out there and you're like, and you just make some stupid noises and people like dying laughing and like kind of
Yeah.
making you feel good about yourself, your act isn't going to be tested,
Yeah.
right? Those crickets,
Yeah.
those silences, they're the ones where they test you. You're like, oh shit, that didn't work.
Yeah, that's when, like, why when Louis C.K. and those big guys, when they just do a minute of nothing. They just do a minute of no joke and nothing, and now people are like, what are you doing? And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they start telling jokes.
yeah.
They deny themselves first to, to get the audience to, like, regular audience.
Real,
Yeah.
is that what that is?
Yeah, yeah, because Louis C.K. talked about it. Like, he said, when I try out stuff, I do a minute of nothing, like, just dead, just bomb. And then people are like, wait, do you really got this or not? Like, and
Right.
then he goes into his stuff to test
Okay.
it out.
That's actually really interesting
Yeah.
to like almost self-sabotage
Yeah.
to get on the level playing field,
Yes.
because I forget who it is it Martin? I can't remember who it is, but he quit comedy because everyone loved him so
Oh
much.
yeah.
Um,
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin, that's
Yeah,
who it
yeah.
is. Yeah, he quit comedy because everyone laughed at anything he said. He was like, I can't do it anymore. Like, it's just not
Steve Martin is a genius. Is
very much.
a genius who claims he has no talent, but he's a genius.
Yeah, and a lot of people look up to him as a comedian, as a you know, the comedian or
Oh
someone
yeah.
they respect, and he's someone who was literally at the top
Literally.
and came off. It was like, it's too much because I know it's not genuine anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he would sell out arenas and everyone would laugh at everything he said. And he's like there was an interview
Yeah.
where Joe Rogan brings it up, and Steve Martin's talking about it after. He's like, that joke was terrible. Like it shouldn't have landed, but they're still laughing, and it doesn't make any sense. And or maybe it was like a podcast that he did
Okay. Yeah.
later on in life and
Hmm.
was talking about a certain thing. I can't
Yeah.
remember exactly, but he was just basically calling himself out. Like that joke wasn't funny. Like
Yeah.
it didn't land right. It wasn't set up correctly.
Yeah. You know it when the laughter is not the right laugh you
Right.
wanted. You
Now,
know it.
where have you found now? Have you found Boston to be a good comedy scene?
Boston is a little tough to break in.
Yeah, especially for an outsider, someone who
Yes.
doesn't sound like us, because you don't,
I don't.
you don't sound like us.
I don't.
I don't like to sugarcoat anything. You don't sound like
I
us,
don't.
right? You don't,
And I should.
right? Uh, but yeah, so we're a little defensive here,
Hmm.
from people from outsiders, but um, I think that you have a lot of potential. I really do. I think
Thanks, man.
guys like Ken Jeong,
Hmm.
uh even though his special I thought was pretty bad.
Yeah, that
Did you watch
special
that
was
Netflix one?
not. Yeah, it was not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yikes.
he was relying on his energy and stuff. There
Yeah,
was no.
I think he's really good in movies.
Yeah,
Stand up, maybe not so much.
I mean he has good jokes, but yeah.
I think I wonder if there's a difference, right? Someone like Ken Jeong who's in shows and movies,
Hmm.
his comedy is set up like his one-liners or whatever it
Hmm.
is on point.
Yeah,
But then with live,
live
like
is different.
live and in that, I don't know if he has that.
Live
Maybe
is totally different.
yeah, and for Ken, when I watched the special, I thought I was gonna be laughing the whole time, and I was like, oh, maybe that's just not for him. That's okay too.
Yeah, well, he was relying on some, kind of cheaper, stuff
Yeah,
when he
um,
was doing that. So,
but then there was a but yeah, so I mean, then there was another Chinese guy
hmm,
who I thought there's a Netflix special. I can't remember exactly what his
Ronnie
name is.
Chang,
Potentially,
was it
he
the
talks about
SNL?
Amazon
Was it
Prime a lot.
was
He
it
did a whole bit on Amazon Prime, which I thought was one of the funniest things I've ever I've ever heard,
Yeah,
because he's like talking about American greed
yeah,
and how we want everything right now,
yeah,
Amazon Prime right now, and like
uh-huh,
his accent in his thing, just it was so good, it had me laughing, and
uh-huh.
that's who you reminded me of,
Cool.
because you start off with something about Amazon, and
Yeah,
oh, this
yeah,
reminds me of something. I couldn't put my finger on it, but then
yeah.
I found it, and I was like, oh yeah,
Cool.
it's a similar like thing, and I think you should definitely, or I think you capitalize on maybe like are you okay with making fun of yourself?
Yeah, sure.
I think
All the
that's
time.
what's a good comedian can do,
Yeah,
is
I mean, all the time.
they don't take themselves too seriously.
No.
You can't. You can't.
We don't take anything too seriously. It's
Uh,
like loosen up. Come on.
right,
Having fun.
right.
It's
Uh,
not that serious. Come on.
uh, so what do you I mean, are you a fan of film and like television and
Oh
stuff?
yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
if you had to pick
Hmm.
one superhero,
One superhero.
who would you pick?
I
We're a big superhero
I'll
gang around here.
I'll go with Spider-Man because
Spider-Man.
yeah, because when I was 7 or something, I was in a DVD store
Yeah.
and the first Spider-Man movie was in there, right? And
Yeah.
he was on the skyscraper
Yeah.
and he was looking at you and we locked eyes.
And you
And
felt
I was like, what is this? What is this
right.
thing?
Eh, that's the Tobey Maguire one. That's the first
Yeah,
Tobey Maguire movie.
yeah, the first one.
He's like kind of stuck on the thing right there.
Yeah, and he was looking at you, and you're like, "What is this?"
Yeah. Uh, but so there's something called Boston casting.
Hmm.
And it's all like it's basically like an audition trial. Like they send you emails like for different openings in movies or television.
Hmm.
Could you ever see yourself trying to do that?
Instead of so in terms of doing movie, it requires a different set of skill.
Yeah, no,
So
for sure,
so
different skill
yeah, so it's gonna take me some time to learn that
to get to
yeah, I'll
to get to
probably
that
have to
place.
take some acting class before I do
Right.
that.
Um, because the only reason I ask is because
Mhm.
I feel like the goal of a comedian, right?
Mhm.
Or at least back in the day,
Yeah.
the goal of a comedian would be to get your act seen
Mhm.
by a TV talent scout,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
a sitcom,
Yeah.
go from there, right? Like that was like
Yeah.
the career path of a comedian for a long time,
Yeah.
for a really long time. But now with the age of online content,
Yeah.
streaming, like guys like Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura,
Mhm.
they've created like this really uncensored show
Mhm.
on these platforms like YouTube and stuff like that, and they're making a lot of money, and they're doing it differently.
Yeah.
And I think that's the great thing about like YouTube
Yeah,
and other
definitely.
things. Um,
Definitely.
a little bit more serious.
Mhm.
What do you think of today? Today's culture? Do you think comedy is going to be able to live through it?
What do
Like
you mean?
and this is the PC thing,
The
right?
PC thing, we're gonna live through this.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think that we're not. Like we're not going to be able to say much. I
Now
mean,
here's the thing. Here's what I think of PC culture thing. It's it's weak people that find out, oh, I can kill you. I can knock you out.
right,
I mean, you're a college professor or whatever, but you said something I don't like. I can knock you out. I can take you out.
right,
I have the power.
right.
So their shadow, their evil side was not under control. They're like, "Oh, I can do this." That's why it's bad. But we're going to look at Dave. Dave is fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're trying to cancel Bill Burr. Bill Burr is fine.
Yeah, dude, you cannot cancel Bill Burr.
Yeah, and
You
and look
can't.
how much trouble Jordan Peterson got himself into for saying a well formulated, thoughtful truth. Is what he said was basically, I don't want a law to legislate to tell me what I can say and what I cannot say. I don't
Right.
want that to be in the law. That's what was his point. But when people hear the word transgender, they go, no. The first thing that come up in their mind was not what he said. The first thing that come up in their mind was the memories, the bad guys they have encountered,
Mm,
the real transphobic guys they have encountered, the bad memories. And then they're like, you're one of them. We have to take you down. But
yeah.
he managed to keep himself, together. So every time he was pushed into corners and he, formulates whatever the his point clearly, delivers it clearly, he's fine. He gets more followers.
Yeah.
He's getting more popular.
Yeah.
And
And it's a dangerous thing to limit speech.
yeah, very
Rarely,
dangerous. Very.
rarely, rarely, if we give that power away,
Mm-hmm.
if we give that freedom of ours away,
Mm-hmm.
rarely do we get it back. So
You don't get it back.
you don't. Yeah, right.
That's why
And
I try to do it here.
yeah, right. I mean, no offense to China,
Yeah.
but they're very limiting in their ways.
Well, you
Very.
if you're trying to do a show, here's what my friend told me. You gotta report it to the whatever government like
Really?
place. Yeah, you gotta give them your script.
What?
You gotta give them a video of you reading the script.
Oh
It's
my
gotta be
god.
word by word, and of course, it's
They have
gonna
to
be
approve
PC.
or
Yeah,
deny it.
yeah,
Um, do you,
yeah.
why is that? Is that because they don't want you like making fun of them, or they
Um,
just want to limit? They just want to be in charge of everything.
yes.
You think it's the power, not the. Oh, you might poke fun at the government
No.
because if you do poke fun at the government, what happens?
You got taken out.
Yeah,
You
literally.
disappear.
No, people think you're joking.
by
You're not.
disappearing, I mean you're not dead. You're probably not dead, but you're disappeared.
Yeah, you're no
You're no
longer.
longer there. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. And for me, right? And I'm a white person in America,
Hmm.
in a very liberal state,
Yeah.
right? I've rarely had problems with anything.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it's hard for me to believe that a world like that exists because I've never seen. I see it on the TV,
Yeah.
but like, you know what I also see on the TV?
Hmm.
I also see two girls, one cup
Yeah.
on the screen.
Yeah.
Like some things like you're just like, aha, that's not real,
It's
right?
too much information. Your brain just can't handle it.
So but you've lived it. You've been there. You can say
Well,
that those things are
I mean,
happening.
as a regular person, it doesn't really affect your life. But what I do, I mean, the core of stand up is truth and freedom,
Right.
the core to this whatever art form or craft. Like
Yeah.
the core is that. And if you don't get to have that, you're not doing it.
Right.
You're not doing the stand-up comedy. So to do that, I have to be here.
And that, yeah, you know what? You're 100% right. Um,
At least the freedom of speech is still in the Constitution. At least in the foreseeable future, it's not going to be taken out. At least in the foreseeable future, we still have that.
right. Do you
We can
think?
still fight here.
Do you think that um that can't like? Do you think so? For instance, Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, Instagram, all those social media sites.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they're privately owned, right?
Yep.
As of right now, they're privately owned. But do you think that the line is becoming blurred where they might have something to do with freedom of speech? Because if you think about it, right, especially during the pandemic,
Yep.
those sites, those social platforms
Mm-hmm.
are the way we're expressing, like that's the way I can talk to you. You can talk
Yeah.
to me, right? Is there eventually going to become a time where that has to be built into some sort of law, some sort of something where like you can't if you take someone if you deplatform them,
Mm-hmm.
you're theoretically taking away their some form of their freedom of speech.
It could happen. Like it definitely could happen because it's so much of our life now. Like YouTube. If you
Yeah,
take out YouTube, like that's a huge like channel to, for me, like to communicate with someone, that
right,
communicate with my fans, like right.
right.
TikTok, if that's how I could connect with my fans. Like if you do that, it's gonna hurt. But
Mhm.
I don't
Um,
I think we're okay because
okay.
internet is you got way
But
more choice.
do you remember when they were trying to like make it was like pay? I forget what it was called, but it was like you had to pay for the internet. You had to pay extra money to go on certain sites. I can't remember what it was called. I'll have to think of that. But
Okay.
one of our viewers asked you a
Mm-hmm.
question here. Uh, it's the most beautiful art to make someone laugh, but at the same time, as comedians, how do you guys control your laugh?
What do you mean control my laugh?
Yeah, can you maybe clarify that, Prakash? Because I don't really understand it either. It's the most beautiful art to make someone laugh.
It's not.
You don't think so?
Well, here's the thing. The audience laughter is my cocaine,
Right.
and I'm a crackhead.
Ah!
That's how I would put it.
Well, I think it's beautiful.
That's why I do it.
You don't think it's beautiful?
Well,
Okay, but
it is a good thing.
it's definitely a good thing, and
Yeah.
I don't think the world would be a fun place if it was gone.
Oh yeah.
Um, like there's something about going to a comedy show, which I've only been to one, so
Hmm.
I can't really like say like exactly, but I've watched a lot of specials.
How did that go?
The in person comedy,
Yeah,
it was different.
it was different.
It's
It's
different
not
than
as good.
yeah, it's different. Definitely different.
Yo.
It wasn't a big name, so they
Hmm.
didn't have that fine tailored um that act like that. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter
They're
if you're
still working on the act.
yeah, it didn't matter because if you go see Kevin Hart, it doesn't matter if you watch him on TV or in person. He's funny.
Yeah.
Like he's funny, and there's a potential that he's filming his Netflix special while you're watching because
Yeah.
like they do that sometimes where
Hmm.
there's been plenty of them filmed in Boston.
Yeah.
So you could be potentially watching him, film that
Yeah.
set
Hmm.
that's going to be on HBO or Netflix.
Yeah.
Whereas you go to like a live comedy show, maybe an open mic kind of deal,
Hmm.
it's not always going to be these big names.
Yeah.
Um, one second, he did clarify it.
Cool.
He says, I mean, how do you guys control your laugh when you're doing stand up or comic skit? I honestly still don't
I
understand.
don't I don't control the audience laughter. I mean, if they
What
want to laugh,
can you? I think I know what he means.
okay.
Like, if you're doing a show in Boston,
Hmm.
you need to know how to get them to laugh, right? You need to
Yeah.
remember we were talking about like the Dayton crowd is different.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
So, like how to hit them where they need to be hit to tickle that nerve that makes
Hmm.
them laugh.
Yeah.
How do you know which places? Like, how do you know what you can do, what you can't do?
That's where the open mics comes in. That's
Really?
where the working on your act comes in.
So,
That's when you tell the same joke like over and over again and it kills all every time. That's when you know, okay, I can put that up front and that will
okay,
get me a laugh.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, what would you say your style is?
My style,
Like, what it tends to be what you do best?
I do best. See, I'm still working on my act. That's why I do those street shows,
Yeah.
street performance, because I'm not there to make money like a real street performer. They
Right.
have way bigger buckets than I do. I have a small bucket. I'm just
Just a
there.
small bucket.
Yeah, I'm just there to practice. That's what I'm doing there. I'm
That's
trying to work on my act, work on more like crowd work,
right.
because you can't really get people pay attention to your jokes. So it's more of a ad libbing practice.
Right, right. And it's hard to
It's
stand up
difficult.
in downtown Crossing,
Yeah,
put the little speaker on,
yeah,
and just go.
yeah.
What gave you that idea?
Um, I could just do it.
Does anyone actually give you a hard time about that? No, no. Like, would the police ever say anything?
Well,
Because
I
technically, you need a license, don't you?
so in Boston, the good thing is that be a street performer in Boston, you don't need a permit to do that. But in
Okay,
Cambridge, you would need to apply for a permit, and they're not opening the application now.
right.
So in Boston, you can just do it, and as long as the private property security guys don't kick you out. So like, for example, yesterday we're doing it at the Quincy Market, right?
Okay.
There was a on the east side there was a big circle thing, kind of thing. So that's where we have been doing it for like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And yesterday there was a security guy came up to us like, "Hey, you can't do it here." Blah blah blah. So I'm trying to figure out where the management, the lady, where does like when does she work and stuff. So
So you talk to her, and
see if I can get to talk to her and get that spot. And so that didn't work out. So we have to move to the west side. So
okay.
we shared the spot with the bucket drummer Josh. He was amazing and it was awesome. He let us, to do, in between when he takes breaks, so we can do it in between. Yeah.
Okay. For Quincy Market, for anyone who doesn't know, Quincy Market is this really, really big area. There's shopping, there's food,
Yep.
um, there's a lot going on down there.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen some great performers down there,
Oh yeah.
great performers who make a lot of money just
Oh yeah.
with people dropping money in,
Tons of money.
tons of money. And how's doing, because I've actually never seen comedy there though. I've
Oh
always,
yeah.
it's always the drummers or like
Yes.
someone who's like
Because
flipping and
because it's the hardest thing to do.
yeah, yeah. Because
It is the hardest thing.
people are on the go. That's
Yeah.
the thing. But if you can catch someone who's grabbed a piece of pizza from Regina,
Yep.
who's just sitting outside eating, and
Yep.
they just watch along,
Yep.
like that's fun. Um, what? But yeah, so the street performers, they get like territory.
Yes, that's the hard part because now I'm I'm talking to all these people and they're kind of gangster like they're like, oh, you can't come here, you can do that. So I put on my gangster mode. I was like,
Ah,
okay, okay, when you take breaks, when do you take breaks? I mean, can I come in like I was talking to these breakdancing group, right?
yeah,
They just kept on doing it and they don't normally they don't share the place. They're like, oh, we do the show till the sun goes down. I was like, no, let me you know
right.
let us work out a
Something.
schedule. Let us work it out, right?
Yeah,
Because you're gonna take a break sometimes. You
right.
can't keep going, like, right? And I was trying to do that and they were like, oh, talk to him, talk to that guy. I was like, okay, I talked to that guy, and that guy was like, yeah, no, talk to Sean Boy. Like, I was like, okay, I talked to Sean, and I was like, no, talk to that guy.
They were giving you the
There's a group,
runaround.
right? I was like, why are you acting like a Chinese government here? Like, don't kick me
Oh,
around like that. Don't.
ah,
What are you guys
yo,
doing? Yeah. So I was in that mood, and when I host the show, I'm not in my funny mood.
right.
I'm not. I'm not like, hey, how's everyone doing? I was like, let me tell the joke. I'm still.
Kind of still aggravated about this whole
Yep.
ordeal here.
Yep.
That's wild, because basically what they're
Mhm.
doing is they're not taking you seriously.
Well, I mean,
I know those people.
I kept talking to them, and to a point, they took me seriously. They're like,
They're like,
okay,
okay,
and
maybe he
we're gonna take a break in an hour, and it's gonna be what 10-15 minutes. And I was like, okay, but do you have a schedule? They're like, no, we just
kind of do
feel,
it.
yeah, we just go with our feelings. When we
Okay.
feel like taking a break, we take a break. I was like, okay, I'll come back tomorrow and see how we, yeah.
Right. Jack Pierre said Carl went gangster mode. Loves it. Loves it.
Yeah,
What
you have to.
what's
But
the
most performers are good. They're nice. They're like, yeah,
they're not like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's share the cake. It's
Right.
not like you do it and then I cannot do it. No, you do couple like you do an hour or half an hour. I do a half an hour. We can
Yeah.
do it. Yeah,
We can
we can
we
all make money. Like we can all. It doesn't matter.
right. It's kind of like the homeless thing, right? With the holding the not no. I'm not
Hmm.
making a comparison in like the
Hmm.
asking for money.
Hmm.
You're working,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
But it's like I've seen homeless people fight over areas where they
yeah.
ask for change,
Yeah,
and because they think that like coming out of 7-Eleven, everyone will have
yeah.
change. They hold the door for you. So I guess they're kind of working for it, but like it's very strange to see that
Ye-
happen because
Yeah,
it's not
cause
like you could go to the police
yeah,
and be like, listen, this guy's performing. He won't let me even try. Like he won't even
yeah.
share. Like he
Oh,
won't
there
even
are bad street performers that fuck it up for everybody.
yeah.
There are those kind of people.
Have
Like
you ever run into them?
I haven't, but I heard the story from Josh. Like, they're like two girls like dressing like, cops or whatever, like super hot, and they take picture with guys
Yeah.
and they charge you money after you take picture with them. It's like
Oh,
$20, $50. And then there were two cops that came up, right?
that's
And the
wild.
cops was like, okay, it's optional when they ask for money. The cops was really clear, like you're a street performer. It's option. It's not like I have to give you money. It's optional,
Right.
and they didn't care, and they get to, the cops were like took out the phone, like, what are you gonna do about it? And they smacked the phone. The cops are bleeding, and
Wait. Because you see, you're saying cops, but they're
yeah.
both cops. They're dressed as cops. Which ones are you talking about now?
I'm talking about the real cops.
The real
The
cops
real
were
cops that dressed
bleeding.
the real cops were dressing like normal guys because they were like fishing,
Yeah, yeah,
and so those girls were like, oh fuck you. It's like, and then it's like, okay, everybody out. They just
yeah.
fuck it up for everybody.
Everybody, yeah, because that's no good
Yeah,
when you
no
demand
more.
money
Yeah,
from people,
yeah,
and it doesn't become.
no,
That's not street performing. That's
no,
extorting.
yeah,
That's extorting people for money.
yeah,
Like, oh, come take a picture with me. I'm this. You're taking advantage of men, and
yeah,
they're not that they don't deserve it sometimes,
yeah,
but you're taking advantage of them thinking, oh, I'm gonna get this picture with a super hot like
yeah,
cop, and
yeah,
but I'm gonna extort you. It's $50 for that picture,
yeah,
and I need that $50 now.
yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah.
Um,
So I'm glad they're gone now.
yeah. The movie dogs ask, what's
Uh-huh.
the best comedy of all time, like any era, film or television?
Best comedy of all time.
It's definitely objective or subjective.
Yes,
Which one's the one?
subjective.
Subjective, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would say just any genius work. So Steve Martin,
Yeah.
Patrice O'Neill. Patrice O'Neill's special Elephant in the Room is one of the best. It's always there.
Yeah.
Always there. And then Dave, Dave Chappelle and Louis C.K. is good, even though he can't do stuff now. But I mean,
His older stuff.
well,
He did
he's
try to come back if I'm not
his
mistaken, right?
his specials are pretty much all good, except the 2012 one and the 2017 one. I mean, those two were like he relies more on the technique and the
Right.
skills instead of like real observations and real feelings. So that's why those two looks like a little weaker compared to the other stronger stuff.
Right.
But overall, his special has been great.
Yeah. And Louis C.K. is weird. Like his scenario is very weird because you want to like him. Like
Yeah.
I've always wanted, like even when I watched Parks and Rec, he was in one season of Parks and Rec, but
Hmm.
he came back a little bit later on in the series. But he plays a cop, ironically.
Hmm.
He plays a cop who dates Leslie Knope, which is the main character in the show.
Yeah.
And like even after all the stuff came out about him, I still laughed when he was on the screen.
Yeah.
Like I still think he's funny.
It's still good comedy.
Yeah, I just don't know whether what's true or not about him, and that scares me because I don't want to. I don't play cancel culture.
Hmm.
If he did something wrong, he
Yep.
did something wrong. He apologized for it.
Yeah, he
He
apologized.
definitely apologized and he said I'm wrong.
Yep.
Right? If you do 2 times maybe. If he apologizes, then does it again,
Then
then you
no,
maybe you
yeah,
need to go. But if he apologizes, I'm mistaken, I you know, basically admits defeat,
yeah,
and admits fault for what he
hmm,
did. I think that second chances should be happened, or
yeah,
should given, I should say.
yeah,
Um, and that's the thing about Louis. But there's other people.
hmm,
For instance, Carlos Mencia,
yeah.
who
Well, he's
steals
not good. He's
jokes.
not good.
So even though he didn't do anything that was illegal,
Yeah,
right?
it's bad. It's bad. I mean, in our world, that is the one of the worst thing you can do.
Steal jokes.
Yes,
Yeah.
don't do that.
There.
Like in our world, it's not okay.
Right. And what do you think? Did you ever watch what happened with that?
Yeah, I saw the video where Rogan was like,
Rogan
come on
calls him out
stage.
right on the
Yeah, on the
stage,
stage.
dude.
That was awesome.
That
Because
was
he knows how to fight. That's how he can do it. Because he can control him.
right. He has the mouth to talk it,
Yeah.
but also has
Body to
the
defend
body to
himself.
defend it just in
Yeah.
case. Because Carlos could have acted wild.
Yeah.
Carlos could have went.
He's a pretty big guy. I
He is
mean,
a
on
big
stage.
guy.
Yeah.
He is a big guy, and I mean, he was selling out arenas,
Oh yeah.
and he was stealing jokes. Like that's
That's not
crazy.
okay.
Some people have said that um what's his name? Robin Williams did that.
Oh yeah. Still till this day, people still don't think Robin Williams was like the best because he still stole those lines.
Yeah, he would sit in the back of a
Yeah.
club and watch your performance. And
Well,
then the next time next
yeah.
you would hear your own shit.
I don't think he did that on purpose. I think it's just when he was trying to ad libbing, like sometimes your brain just
Kick
goes
some
through. Yeah,
yeah,
just whatever. Like your brain was like, okay, here, there you go. Like this is funny. Like
right.
this. Like it just feeds you that, but he doesn't really know where that's coming from.
Right. So that's the difference between what Robin did
Yeah,
and what Carlos did. Because
it's different. It's different. I think
Carlos,
it's different.
I
Yeah.
think it's different too. Because Robin, people have said that he stole jokes, but
Hmm.
Joe also made the point, like you just said,
Yeah.
that no, we don't think he was stealing them by on purpose.
Yes.
We think that because he is who he is, he
Yeah.
had heard it years before or something,
Yeah.
whatever, even 2 weeks before, and then maybe like didn't say it the exact same way, but it
Yeah.
was similar in sort of ways, and people got upset because
Yeah.
he is who he is.
Yeah.
But Carlos would like literally go to the comedy store,
Yeah.
sit and watch your performance,
Yeah.
and then go to Madison Square Garden, a sold out arena, and basically do your act. Like
That is not okay.
that's not okay, man.
No.
And that's a huge problem in the comedy world.
Mhm.
Is that stealing of the material?
Oh yeah.
Um, uh, man, I don't even know what I would do. I don't know what I would do
I mean, I haven't
because you
run
want to
into.
punch him in the head.
Yes.
You really do. You
You
want
want
to
to
punch him in the head, but
Yeah.
like that's not the answer either. You
Yeah.
have to do what Joe did.
Yeah. It's hard to deal with that. Like when it happens, it's hard to deal with it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
There was a
mhm.
sorry, one second. There was a film. There was a MASH movie, not just a show. I didn't know that.
What MASH movie?
You know what MASH is?
What?
The
What is
show. You know what MASH is?
what is that? I don't.
It's a older military show,
Mhm.
but it's heavy comedy.
Okay, gotcha.
And they're like they're doctors in like the war,
Uh-huh.
or I think most of them are. I don't. It's a show my dad watched,
Okay.
but it was like really really funny.
Okay.
And I thought it was just a show. I didn't know there was a movie. Someone just
Okay.
said it, brought it up.
Okay.
But the same guy, he said MASH parentheses the film, to me the best comedy in film. What's your
Okay.
favorite comedy movie?
Comedy movie. Ah, that's a hard one.
Oh yeah, and Carlos wasn't even Mexican.
What?
Carlos Mencia is not even Mexican. That's
He's
not his
not?
real last name.
He's not? Okay. I
No.
didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's another thing that Joe pointed out to a lot of people is that Carlos's last name's not Mencia, and he's not. No, his first name isn't Carlos Mencia is a fake name completely,
Wow.
and it's something else. I'm gonna have to look this up. What Carlos Mencia's actual name is.
Oh.
What's your
So
favorite comedy movie?
it's hard. Cuz I haven't seen a good comedy movie in a while. I mean, the newer ones, right? It it hasn't been a good one that's so popular, like everybody knows.
Right.
So it has to go back to the old times. I
Okay.
love the what is the movie's name? Mrs. Doris or something like the Robin Williams one where he was
Ms.
like,
Doubtfire?
yeah, Miss Doubtfire.
Yeah.
I love that one.
What a classic,
A
man.
classic, yeah. I
What a
remember when I was
classic.
a kid, I watched that. I was like, wow, this is insane. This is, yeah.
His name was Ned Holness.
What the hell?
Ned Holness is Carlos Mencia's real name.
I'm glad he's gone. I'm
Yeah, what
glad
a
he's
joke,
gone.
dude. What a joke that guy was. His whole life was a joke. And his
Yep.
net worth right now, still to this day, $20 million.
What the hell?
Yep. Yep. Wow. Wow.
Jeffrey Epstein's got a lot of money too.
That's
I mean,
true.
bad people.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Bad people sometimes, they just there are bad people.
Have you ever seen Tropic Thunder?
Yeah, I like that one.
That's a movie that wouldn't even fly anymore because of the blackface. That's stupid to me. That is so stupid to me.
That was hilarious.
Ugh.
That blackface was hilarious.
I think it was spot on.
When he took off the wig and the blonde hair came out, that was one of like that was hilarious. Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. People forget that he's pretty funny. Like he's not you. Iron Man's a somewhat funny role. But it's like it's serious funny.
Yeah.
But people forget Robert Downey Jr. was really, really like talented.
He's super talented and super charming and just yeah.
Yeah, and he just had like a really raging drug habit, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing too. Like,
it is very scary.
Getting that rich, where like I mean, there's nothing else that brings me joy. I need to find joy in something else, and it typically comes in the form of drugs.
Well,
right?
I haven't got to that point yet, so
yeah,
I'm still suffering life. So.
Yeah,
so I don't know about that world.
Right. Or Step Brothers. Step Brothers is another one. Here's something weird I need to ask. What do you think about Will Ferrell? I do not enjoy Will Ferrell. I think his comedy's so over the top.
I personally haven't saw like a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say very little. I don't even recall anything in my mind now.
I don't think he does actual stand up. Again, I think he's one of those guys that like he was movie funny. But he did SNL.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. He might have did stand up, but back in the day, I'm not sure. But I do know that his comedy isn't my style. Like that isn't what I like in a comedian. And he's very over the top. And he's very like it's almost like dumb humor.
Okay.
And it's not for me. It's not for me.
Comedy is very subjective.
Like, again, it's not for exactly.
Yes.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But there's a reason he's Will Ferrell, right?
Yeah.
And he's super rich.
For example, here's the thing. Do you like Nate Bargatze?
I don't know who that is.
Nate Bargatze is one of white people's favorite comedian.
Really?
Yep. And I maybe I couldn't relate to that. That's why I was like, okay, I prefer Louis C.K.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just you have your own like taste. You have your, favorite one. Yeah.
So what I want to do now is we're gonna take a couple minute break. But I just have to do because I was gonna do it in the beginning, but then I was like, no, I kind of want to wait. But we'll be right back after these messages. That was so weird. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors because they pay us money. We are brought to you today by Showcase Cinemas Deluxe. Right now, Mortal Kombat is in theaters, and we were live from inside the theater for all-day coverage of the film on April 23rd. Make sure to get out and support your local theaters now. See these larger-than-life movies the way they were intended, on the largest screen possible. Showcase offers X+, which is their large premium format theater. Not only do you see and hear the film, but you become a part of it as well. Find out where your local Showcase Cinemas is by heading to their website, www.showcasecinemas.com. Again, that's www.showcasecinemas.com, or by clicking the link in the description below. Remember, be Showcase safe. Showcase has implemented several protocols to ensure that your focus remains on the film, not on the pandemic, including new ventilation systems in each theater to ensure proper airflow, sanitizer on every wall, and so much more. Enjoy the movie the way it was meant to be, with a night out to the theater. So, we are brought to you today by Kai CBD, a Las Vegas-based health and wellness brand that crafts a full-spectrum CBD hemp-derived product line. Made with 100% love, the brand was created by a 20-year licensed massage therapist for her husband who suffers from chronic pain. Healing is what Kai lives for. Head over to their Facebook or Instagram and mention Pop Culture Corner to receive 10% off your order of all or any of their CBD-derived product line. Guys, their website is in the works. Head over to their Facebook or Instagram. The links are in the description below. Mention Pop Culture Corner and get 10% off. This ad is an easy one for me. Easy, as I use the products myself. They are wonderful. So head over, mention Pop Culture Corner, and get 10% off your order of. We are brought to you today by Bonk's Bar in Philadelphia. Bonk specializes in seafood and good times. If you're in the Philly area, make sure to stop by, and on Tuesdays, our resident producer Jack hosts trivia at the bar. Mention Pop Culture Corner to Jack and receive your first drink on the house. For more information about the menu or specials, visit the website for Bonks or their social media pages. All of the links are in the description below. This was an easy one, guys. Head out, support your local service industry. Go to Bonks, grab some seafood, some beer and wine, play some trivia, and have a good time. All right, we're back. Funny story. So Karl didn't know that was me reading those. And I actually have a funny video that I sent to our patrons, on Patreon. It was a 7-8 minute long video of me trying to do those, trying to read those because it's scripted, right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to read it and do it perfect.
Yeah.
I kept messing it up, and I'd be like, "Fuck!" like yelling and shit. And because it was all recorded, I was like, "Oh, I think this would be funny to like send them as like a behind the scenes. Like this is what it really looks like to be doing this kind of stuff." It's a lot of swearing and getting aggravated at yourself. But yeah, so that's me reading those. Where we have a CBD company, a bar, and Showcase Cinemas, which is one of the 5th largest theaters in the country.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so I enjoy it. I enjoy. Would you ever? You said you've done podcasts before, and you've done radio. I mean, I know a lot of comedians have podcasts.
Yeah.
So is that anything you'd ever think about?
I think there's already so many podcasts by comedians, specifically. So
specifically comedians. Yeah.
Also, here's the thing. I don't feel like people should listen to me talk for an hour.
Okay.
Like every day.
Every day. Yeah.
It's like no.
You think
I don't have that many good material.
Well, I don't think you need material.
Yeah.
That's the difference with the podcast.
Or like that many gold or juice, whatever you call it.
Yeah. Okay, I hear you. on that.
Yeah.
For me, I like it. I'm not a comedian, but I like. I mean, I do this probably once a day, where I talk to someone, or we talk about something. We have a show in the morning now that isn't about movies, or it is about movies, but it doesn't have to be about movies. We can talk about anything. No topic is off topic is the motto. And that's allowed us to do a lot more in terms of like, if something happens, like for instance, right now, trending in the United States on Twitter is North Korea. You know why?
What happened?
Because Joe Biden in his speech said that he like blundered and said that North Korea is an extreme threat, and like called them out basically, and said that we're gonna keep it is. But what do you think is better, Trump's way or the Democratic way, which is like we're gonna have a hostile plan to defend ourselves against you and just tell them outright, like you're a threat. And that what is that? That does to Kim Jong Un. Now he's like, oh, you want to talk shit?
Well,
Trump was like his little best friend.
th- this is a very difficult thing. Like we all know so little about this thing to even commenting on it.
Yeah.
I just feel like yeah, it's hard. I feel
Uh,
like people should pay more attention to Japan pouring nuclear waste into the ocean.
that is also a good point.
Yeah,
That
I
is
think
also a good point.
that's where we should pay more attention to, because it is not being brought up here. I
Yeah.
don't see anybody even worried. I was like,
But it's like, no, you probably should be worried because you're gonna kill the
it's
ocean. And
it
when you kill the
the
ocean, you kill
ocean.
us.
Yeah, how you can't do that? You cannot do that. We the whole UN should figure out a way. Like, let's every country should you know chime in and help. Like,
Right.
it's not okay.
What do you? So I mean, where do you stand on the political spectrum? Not who you are,
Mhm,
but um, because I think that's a question no one should ever ask someone.
mhm,
It's too personal.
mhm.
Look, did you like Trump? Well,
Yeah,
that's a different question. I
yeah.
mean, how did you feel about his presidency? Because this is coming. I like what I want to know is because you're
Mhm,
an outsider, right? You're
yeah.
not born here.
Mhm,
What do you think? What did you think about Trump? I don't care. I'm neither. I don't
mhm,
follow it too hard. I have my opinions
yeah.
and I vote,
Mhm.
but Trump is he's a comedian.
He's very annoying.
He's a comedian.
He's
He's a
very
reality
annoying.
star,
Yup,
reality TV star. He shouldn't even be controlling a family, let alone a country,
yup,
right?
yup.
And I mean the guy's crazy,
Yeah,
literally crazy.
crazy.
And we put him in charge of a country,
Yeah, well.
and I find that to be crazy. Like China, right?
Yup,
They wouldn't make you the president,
it wouldn't.
right? Someone who's a
No,
comedian or someone who wants to be
no,
like that, like in that industry, right?
no.
They wouldn't make you. What is it called in China? Is it a
Uh,
dictator? Do they call you guys call
I
him a
think it's
dictator?
still called president.
It's called the president. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't make you, a popular reality star
No, no,
president.
no.
Now, why does that fly in the United States? I have no idea.
Well, yeah. When Trump came up, like people wanted something different, and
They did. They definitely wanted something different, and he was very good at telling you he was different.
yes,
And that's the thing people forget is, dude, he's a showman
he is.
at the core of who he is.
He
He
is.
knows how to put on a show,
Yes.
and people loved it. People were so into it in
Yeah.
the sense that they craved, not even just wanted, craved something out of the norm of the typical politician.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, he touches the white people's heart. You know, they have been having a hard time.
yeah,
They think it's everyone else's fault. It's yeah.
yeah.
It
Uh,
speaks to them.
but
So.
even he had a high, like Florida. He
Hmm.
had one of the highest Republican counts for Cubans,
Hmm.
like ever. A lot of people in Cuba voted for him. Well, from Cuba that lived in Florida, like a
Hmm.
lot of Cubans voted for him because they didn't want, because he was very good at targeting them in ads, saying, "Didn't you just come here to escape Fidel Castro?
Yeah.
Do you want the next Fidel Castro to be in charge of the country?" And they were talking about Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden, basically. Like, you gotta know that's wrong. You gotta
Man.
know. Gotta know that's wrong. But they still voted for him. So he knows how to put on a show.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
what I think people love about him.
people who voted for him, like it's just, for example, the Asian community, the Chinese people who voted for him, it's like, what are you doing? Come
Yeah.
on, like
Yeah.
you think you're gonna be fine with this?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
They don't see the future. They yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we had someone on the other day. Well,
Hmm.
I mean, we had someone on the other day, but they didn't. We didn't get into talking about this kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But we talked about it after the show, and I found it really interesting. What he said was, it's all the same. It's all like extreme Republicans,
Hmm.
extreme Democrats.
Yeah.
They're the same.
Yeah.
They just have different. a couple different viewpoints, but
Hmm.
they're both as dangerous.
Yeah.
Most people will find themselves as a libertarian.
Hmm.
Like what is that? Like it's like social um it's like a mix between the
Yeah.
between the two. Most people get along,
Yeah.
right? Like me and you,
Yeah.
we may not be the same,
Yeah.
but we'll get along.
Yeah.
If most people like want to enjoy each other's company or get along when they're in someone else's company, but it's those really extreme people that are the problem, and
Yeah.
they're the ones that typically end up running the country somehow.
Yeah.
So
Well, they work hard.
they definitely work hard.
They work hard.
Yeah, for sure. They for sure work
Yeah.
hard. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's something I like to talk about a little bit, in because it does relate to our lives, like
Yeah.
who runs the country or these
It
problems.
does. It
Uh,
does.
you know, if you were if you were in charge. Now I know
Uh-huh.
we talked about it.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't put you in charge,
Hmm.
but if you were in charge of China, would you? Because from what I've heard, they limit what you can see online.
Hmm. You can't access to websites outside of China, like no Facebook, YouTube. You gotta get the VPN to do that.
What if they find out that you have a VPN?
The VPN is technically illegal
Oh my
to
god.
host a VPN service. Like if you sell VPN service, well, you gotta go to jail if you find out. Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know how about using VPNs, but using VPN is the only way, to get on Facebook and other stuff.
I'm saying because people have like Chinese people have Facebook and YouTube, right?
Uh,
That's because they have VPN.
yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah,
crazy to me. But
yeah,
TikTok was Chinese, I believe.
yeah, yeah,
TikTok was Chinese,
yeah.
which has now been sold. I think.
Is it sold?
I think it might be sold. I think it was in the
I
process
forgot
of
if
it.
yeah, I forgot if the deal was finished or
Yeah,
not.
I don't know actually.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be the right person to speak on that. But so if you were in charge, what would you do? Like what would you do differently?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
This is
it's
way
a
out
hard
of
question.
no, it's way out of my like capability, capacity. It's just because I'll be figuring out a lot of shit. Like if I'm the president, right?
Right.
Oh, we have aliens. Oh shit, I want to see that. That's who I would be.
Yeah.
No, get me to get the aliens here. Like I want
Yeah.
to see them first. Like
Yeah.
I don't care about all the other things.
Do, do you think aliens?
I don't know. They say America's got aliens.
I know.
Yeah.
Who says Americans have aliens?
I mean, if you look on Reddit,
Only Americans have aliens?
I don't know. I don't know.
Uh,
Like, I
we
mean,
have a lot of fun talks about aliens here.
oh yeah,
Uh,
I
we,
love the the whole thing. Like, there's aliens. Like, I
yeah,
like we probably get to see aliens like
in
before
our
we die.
lifetime.
Yeah, before we die, we
What would
probably
you?
got to see that.
Yeah, not so. Did you see all the stuff that's been happening with the
What?
Pentagon and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
footage that they've been releasing? And
Oh yeah, and
it's like they're almost getting us ready to see something.
yeah, I don't know. They're like,
They've admitted
yeah,
that there are ships for the longest time
yeah,
in the history of the world. The government has made fun of it, like,
yeah,
aha, you guys are crazy.
yeah,
Don't take them seriously, or like made a mockery of it out of it.
yeah,
Now they're coming out and saying, yeah, no, we knew.
yeah,
Like, there's see these ships that are in this video. Yeah, we don't know who those are, and we know it's not human technology. Basically, without saying it's aliens, they're saying it's aliens
yeah,
because they're like, it's not. It's not. First off, it's not United States technology,
yeah.
but that's not technology that we understand that the world has,
Oh yeah,
unless Russia, North Korea, or China or Japan has
yeah,
created this anti or non-compulsion
yeah,
anti-gravity way of pushing a ship,
yeah,
a spacecraft, then there is no way that that was made by a human.
yeah. I mean,
That's haunting.
I've been into all kinds like these type of shit when I was a kid. So
Right.
I'm
Should have
just
been talking about this
excited.
the whole time.
I'm excited about the possibility that I'm gonna see it in my lifetime.
Yeah, and then there was the Israeli chief. He's basically the head of the CIA for Israel.
Mhm,
It's like the head of defense or whatever.
mhm.
He had said, and now he's an older guy now,
Hmm.
but he was a high ranking official military.
Hmm.
And he came out and said that the United States, specifically the United States, and some of the other big places in the world have not only known about the existence of aliens,
Yeah.
but are partnered with them on a base on Mars in an intergalactic federation. And there's a base on Mars where we go and talk to them, or that's where they're the base is, and they are we're working with them to engage to basically protect the Earth from other alien civilizations.
I don't know about that. The only
But this is a
person I
dude
know who's
that would be
going to
like
Mars is
that would
Elon Musk. That's who I know is going to Mars. But
yeah, but who knows?
yeah,
Who knows what they're telling us or what not they're telling us,
yeah,
right? For how many years did they deny the existence of
yeah,
anything,
yeah,
right? And now we find out that not only do they have video proof of it,
yeah,
but they basically say that's not us. That's not some test
yeah,
flight.
yeah,
We don't know what it is. And now legislation was created to basically get all the departments, CIA,
yeah,
FBI, the Pentagon, all of them, they want to be all on the same page
yeah.
because one might have this information, one has this information.
Hmm.
Do you think there's anything at Area 51? Actually,
I mean, I was watching this former CIA, agent. Like before he dies, he give this interview. He basically tells about the alien story. It was fascinating to watch, but you don't know if it's real or not.
right. But it is fascinating.
It
And I
is
find it to be really
fascinating.
fun. Could you imagine if tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, you know, we're sitting here
Hmm.
and all of a sudden this dark sky happens. The sky gets really dark.
Yeah,
And and you look up and you think, "Oh, was it rain?" And then a ship comes out of the clouds
yeah,
and is just hovering over the United States. And it's like and then they just come down.
yeah.
Well, how do you think the world would react?
Everybody would take out
Very
their
poorly.
phone,
Yeah, well, that would be the first
post it
thing.
on TikTok and YouTube, and like, look at this.
Yeah. That's sad too. That's the first thing people would do. Instead of getting themselves to safety just in case.
Well, they'll still get themselves to so-called safety,
You
but you
give
don't
people
know.
too much credit, man.
You don't know what's safety, right?
No,
When
you
the
don't.
ship comes out, like you don't know what's safety. Go to the gym or you go to the basement. Where do you go?
Well, okay. I see. I hear you on that.
Yeah,
But people also say that if aliens haven't attacked us yet, but they know that we're here,
yeah,
they're probably not like angry, or they
yeah,
probably don't want to kill us.
yeah.
They want to know. They want to get along.
Oh yeah, if they want to kill us, they be if
If we would already been
we be
dead,
gone.
we
Yeah,
would have already been dead.
yeah.
And they say that a lot of alien activity, like
Hmm.
people see a lot more alien activity around um, military bases that
Yeah.
have nuclear weapons.
Oh yeah, they say like they help like stop some nuclear test, like to just keep it safe. I don't
Yeah,
know about
but
that.
because they don't want to see us kill ourselves.
Yeah,
So if that's the case, then we should probably be thanking them.
yeah.
Imagine that.
You.
Imagine that there's a couple different events that have
Mhm.
happened or could have happened,
Yeah,
but didn't
yeah,
because someone was watching over us.
yeah,
Like, ooh, the monkeys are about to kill themselves.
yeah,
We have to stop that.
yeah.
And then they shut it down.
Yeah,
And like, or what would happen if nuclear war was started, right? Or it
yeah.
was gonna be started between North Korea and the United States, and
I don't think
all of
that's
us
happening.
no, because
Yeah,
mutually assured
yeah,
destruction,
yeah,
right? Keeps us from doing that
yeah,
because I don't want to die just the way you don't want to die,
yep,
right? So that keeps us from doing that.
yep,
But some crazy fucking guy one day
yep.
might test us, test our will. That's gonna be different. That's gonna be
Well,
different.
if you read about the Cold War and what they did, have nuclear bombs flying in the air 24/7
What do you mean
with a
flying?
B-52s, just so if the Soviet Union dropped a bomb on us, the United States, we can just do it right away.
Right.
So there's nuclear bomb in the air 24/7 with a B-52, and that's how a lot of broken arrow thing happened. You know, broken arrow, it's a missing nuclear bomb or damaged nuclear bomb. It has
Oh,
happened 32 times. Now, don't you think your life is a fucking miracle? This is all true. You can look it up. There's a
there's
doc.
32 missing nuclear weapons.
I mean, it happens 32 times. It's either like it accidentally dropped or, into the river, like you couldn't get it back, or, even exploded. And it has happened in America and in Greenland. Greenland. I think it's Iceland or Greenland. I forgot. Yeah, it is happened.
Tell me more about this.
You got to look it up. There's a documentary called Broken Arrow, and you will be thankful to God. Like, wow, my life is a miracle. Like, it hasn't killed all of
Wow.
us.
Wow. I did not know
Yeah.
that. I
Oh,
didn't know that.
if you
Broken
look it up,
arrow.
people have done a lot of bizarre and crazy shit.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah,
32 of them.
and
You'd
that's
maybe think like 5 maybe.
oh
That's
32.
that's even a crazy number. 5
Yeah,
nuclear weapons that have potentially
I think there are about five that's we never get it back or something. Like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep. And you
That's
don't know where that is.
yeah, and that's why I'm worried about the nuclear waste. Japan's gonna pour it into the ocean. I was like, why is
Why isn't anyone
nobody?
stopping that, by
Yeah.
the way? That's so
Oh, by the
crazy to
way,
me.
America was behind it.
What do you mean behind it? Like not
America
against it?
supported them. The United with Atom, Nuclear, Energy, whatever the association, it
Yeah.
was behind it. America was basically saying, yeah, it's okay,
Sanctioning it.
it's
Like
okay, yeah, we can do it. And I guess that's why it's not blowing up in this country. Like
right.
it
Right.
hasn't.
Because the mainstream media doesn't want it to.
Yes,
Because the mainstream media is owned by
yeah, whatever. So,
politicians and corrupt people. Yeah,
but
that's
that should not happen.
that should not happen at all. You're right. You're right. That's a dangerous thing.
Very dangerous.
Because people forget that the ocean, if the ocean's not there, we're not there.
We're gone.
We are 100% not alive anymore.
We are gone.
Because it not only does, oh my god, like even industrial fishing is
Yeah.
bad.
Oh,
They they
that
leave
has
all the
been
nets and
yeah, that's been
the,
the main cause of all the
all,
plastic in the ocean.
all the plastic in the ocean. Guess what? You know how we have paper straws at like Dunkin' Donuts now?
Yeah.
Straws account for 0.01% of plastic in the ocean.
Yeah.
Industrial fishing, the rest.
Yeah.
Not really the rest. It's like 50, 60%.
Yeah.
But straws are doing what people think they're doing. But these go green industries, like these companies that are go green,
Yeah.
they target you with the straw thing because it's something that impacts your life and it makes you like you can see a straw.
It
You
distracts
can't
you.
see net
it
in the
distracts
ocean.
you from the real problem.
Right, which is industrial fishing, and there's no way to regulate fishing. There's no way to. Did you watch that documentary on Netflix?
I haven't watched it yet, but I just saw.
Seaspiracy?
Yeah, yeah.
Watch it, man. It's really good, but it opens your eyes, like
Oh,
about the
yeah.
actual problems.
I need some weed to watch that thing. Like
Yeah.
it's I need
Yeah.
some comfort. I can't just
Yeah.
have like really bad news just hit me in the face. Like I can't do that. No. I need some hot chocolate. I need some cookie. I need
Yeah.
some donuts.
Yeah.
I
Have you
can't
ever
handle it.
smoked and then done comedy
No.
No?
I do it with clear mind.
with a clear mind? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we don't. I mean, we don't judge anyone. It's legal, recreationally here,
It's
and
legal here. Yeah.
if that's like people drink, I find that to be way worse.
Well, yeah. I mean, whenever you rely on something that's not you, it's dangerous.
Yeah,
Right?
I would agree. I would
Yeah.
definitely agree, actually, because um, there's gonna come a time and day that we're gonna have to do without it,
Yes.
and you can't,
Yes.
if you're not drunk, or because you get addicted to not only the feeling of I can't do this without it.
Yeah.
It's almost habitual at that point. It's like, well, if I'm gonna go to a show,
Yeah.
well, I have to smoke or I have to drink in
Yeah.
order to do the show because I've always done that. Because that's who my act is. Right?
Also, it's the timing. Timing is super important to comedy.
Yeah.
You wanna.
But there's guys like Ron White who kill a bottle on stage.
He does.
He's-
And he's talented.
Very talented.
Very
Very
talented.
talented.
He's very talented. That's how he does it.
Yeah.
But that's not the way I do it.
Right.
People are just different.
Different. Yeah. Um. But So what have you got coming up? Like, what have you got coming up where
Hmm.
maybe the pandemic's letting up?
Hmm.
Our comedy clubs open.
Hmm.
What's going on right now?
Right now, I think clubs and bars are kind of slowly opening up. And right now, I'm still doing the outdoor show at the Quincy Market. So it's going to be 1 p.m.
Okay.
on Saturday and
Yeah.
2 p.m. on Sunday.
Okay.
So it's about an hour long. And we're
Okay.
going to be doing, with the bucket drummer,
Yeah. Does he
And
help you in any way? Like,
oh, he draws a lot of crowd.
yeah,
Like when he puts on the music, people just gather.
really?
And when I do it, I have to harass each and every single one of them to
Eh.
get them listen to me.
Right, right, right. But like for instance, could you work something out with him
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah. We're like kind of.
no, where he like
Hmm.
like he like helps you, like
Uh,
you kind of combine a little bit,
we haven't done that yet, but someday, we'll probably just be ad libbing. Like,
right?
hey, just because Dave Chappelle have done that, right? He
Yeah,
was done with the drummer and telling jokes in between. Like, yeah, probably one day.
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because if he could bring the audience in,
Oh yeah.
but then you bring it home,
Yeah.
right? That could be beneficial for both of you.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, like, they consider a lot of stuff I don't consider. Like they see things more, they see more things. Like he takes breaks in between.
Right,
And for us, we're like, oh, if we have people, like, let's keep them here. Let's
right,
do more. Like keep keep people here, keep the show going. Like
right,
don't stop. But to them, they're like, oh, you gotta give like people who work here a break. People who work at the, outdoor, the restaurant, the area. You gotta give those waitress and waiters a break. You can't just keep drumming like all day long and their ear explode.
yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah,
gotta respect people who work in the building here,
right.
like right behind us. You gotta give them a break, like, and you gotta, let people go, like kind of,
Wow, it's really thoughtful
yeah, like
because I
how
wouldn't have thought about that.
they think of it as a 3-4 hour thing,
Hmm.
and in between that you gotta have, breaks. You
Right.
bring it back,
Okay.
and then you let it go. But to us, we're used to like an hour to 2 hour show, so we're like, oh, let's keep it up, keep it
Yeah, yeah,
going.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Wow,
But they are paying attention to, how people working here. How about the guy who's making balloon over there, making sure they're not annoyed by us.
right.
Yeah.
So it's like a machine,
Oh yeah.
right? It's you gotta yeah, because I want you to respect me,
Yeah.
or I want you to want me here,
Yeah.
right? You want me to want you here,
Yeah.
and it's definitely like a give and take. It's like
Yeah.
we don't want to burn any bridges. See
Yes.
that those are the people that are good.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
unlike the cop ladies, right?
No.
Who
No.
who,
No.
who ruin it for everybody
Yes.
because they don't care what you think.
They don't.
They don't care about what anyone thinks. They
They're
only care about
gangsters.
the money.
Yeah. They're gangsters.
Yeah, they're gangsters. You have to go gangster mode on them, or
Yeah.
they don't listen.
Yeah.
Um, but wow, I really respect what you're doing, man.
Oh, I'm still learning a lot from him. Josh is being a great teacher. Just
Yeah,
watching him do what he does, like, teaches you a lot.
and he plays drums on like the buckets and
Yeah,
stuff,
the buckets. Yeah.
and that so people like that,
Yeah.
people like that, you would never expect to be like nice, or like we when we used to come out of the Fleet Center, or it's
Uh-huh.
called the Garden now, I
Uh-huh.
suppose, which is the Boston Garden, the
Mhm.
big place. There's always the drummers outside after the games
Mhm.
because you have thousands of people coming
Oh
out
yeah.
right after.
Yeah.
So then they get the drums going, and people.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably took home close to $2,000
Oh
those
yeah.
nights, right? Just
Thousands.
by drumming outside a game because everyone's a little bit tipsy,
Yeah.
having a good
And
time.
they're like, hell yeah, they
Yeah,
see you. They see,
especially after like a Bruins win or a Celtics
oh
win,
yeah.
right?
They
So
want to throw money. They want to express their happy feelings.
exactly. Um, so but you would never expect that person to be like, okay, let's get you in there, right? I'll stop. Let's get you in, right? Or let me
Yeah,
teach you something about Quincy Market.
a lot of them are, well, I don't know a lot, but some are gangsters. Like they are like, hey, this is my territory. Don't even come close here. I
Right.
I do it all day long. I
Yeah.
don't I don't share. But Josh was a good one. Like,
It's crazy though. It's like, who the fuck are you? to
Yeah.
say that this is your area.
So he had to go through a lot of those kind of shit
Yeah,
when he came up. When he was a kid, like guys were basically threatening him, like,
right.
"Hey, you want to do it here? You got to give me $50."
Ooh,
It's like,
it's like
who the fuck
that
are you?
might be
Yeah.
all I make in one day.
Yeah, probably like when he was a kid, starting out, like
Yeah,
16,
yeah,
doing
like
drumming on the street,
yeah.
like,
You might only make the $50 that
yeah,
day. I'm not gonna give it to you, dude. Okay, you
yeah,
what are you out of your mind?
yeah. So he had to build up that gangster mode, to deal with all kinds of shit. So
Um, yeah,
yeah,
man. But no, I really do respect. Sorry about that.
yeah, no problem.
I really do respect what you do, and you're always welcome to
Thanks,
come on the
man.
show, man. Whatever way, if you ever need anything, don't hesitate. I
Yeah.
love having more. I love having
Hmm.
people in here and
Hmm.
on the show, and
Yeah.
um, the co-host couldn't be here with me today,
Yeah.
unfortunately. It's Sunday. He could have been here yesterday,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Sundays are different. But
Yeah. I
no,
feel
man,
you.
I really like. Where can people find you? I know that we have
Yeah.
your at so it's
Yes.
Karl Z at Karl Z Comedy,
Yep.
um, and that's for
Instagram
TikTok and
and
Instagram.
Instagram. Yep.
And um, I mean, so you can also go to Quincy Market if you're in Boston.
Yep.
See him on the west side of Quincy Market,
Yep.
and when comedy clubs open back up completely,
Yep.
will you be back there?
Yes, probably. I'll be at the Laugh. I think Laugh Boston around. I think it was July or September. I forgot. It was a World Series of Comedy, like competition kind of going on.
Okay,
I think I'll probably be there.
okay.
Yeah, I've
So
applied, but
find out when that is and let me know.
yeah.
Because
Thanks, man.
we'll come there and
Oh,
we'll
cool.
do a
Thanks.
show there with some comedians and definitely you as well.
Hell yeah.
I love comedy, um, and I want to get more into watching it live.
Yeah.
Um, and I think talking to comedians is really
Hmm.
fun, because you guys have a different sense about you, right? Where you don't take life too seriously, but you also
We don't.
know what you also know when to take it seriously,
Yeah,
right? So
kind of.
I really enjoyed this. Thank you
Yeah, thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean it's an hour and a half is what we usually go for,
Hmm.
um,
Cool.
and I know you have to be to your place at 2, so you have
Hmm.
an hour and a half now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Karl Z guys, check him out on TikTok, on Instagram at Karl Z Comedy. Do you have YouTube?
Uh, I haven't opened my YouTube channel yet.
You haven't.
Yeah, I haven't.
All right. Well, let us know when you do,
Cool.
and we'd love to help out in any way we can.
Definitely.
Uh,
Thanks, man.
I have plenty of editing softwares and
Wow.
anything that you need to get it started. We
That's
like to
awesome.
see, especially younger people coming in that need, um, just one thing. But oh, I need a thumbnail made. All right, well, let's help out. I like to help other creators because we need
Well,
to
that's very nice.
stick together
Oh yeah,
in this
definitely.
game, and that's why I like when you're talking about the street performers and like
Yeah,
working
yeah.
together.
Yeah, we
Yeah, it
work
hits
together.
home.
It makes it better.
It does. You don't, and then again, getting along, smiling is better than frowning in
Hmm.
every single situation.
Definitely.
We need to be happy, positive, and we need to live this life as if it's the only one we have. And you
Yeah.
don't want to spend that life aggravated or angry or like a dick.
No.
So thank you, Karl, so much.
Thank
And I
you.
can't wait to have you back. You know, when we don't have to wear masks,
Oh
or
yeah.
one of us doesn't have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Because but yeah, no, thank you for coming. Because coming here today, a lot of people are hesitant or don't want to, and I can understand that. But it's nice
Okay.
to have someone in here.
Oh
So,
yeah, definitely.
um, all right, guys, and for everyone of you watching, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Follow Karl Z on at Karl Z Comedy, his TikTok and Instagram, as well as the show at pop underscore culture 2020 or at pop underscore culture 2020. Some of the platforms have it taken. I know it's crazy, but they're all listed in the description below, including Karl's links. Um, and become a Patreon, $5 or $10 a month, or you can pledge whatever you want per month, and it really goes towards the success of the show. So I can keep doing 4K streams. I can keep doing, small video productions and stuff like that, and we do it for you. We do it for the culture.